Oh boy, do I have a story for you guys this week.
Dad! Daddy! Oh my gosh, Dad, stop. You're embarrassing me.
It's my PTSHD podcast. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the My PTSHD Journey podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. And if you tuned in last week too, I got a lot more listeners than I thought I would. I kind of thought I'd just get 2, with one being myself and the other one being my mum. But hey, I think we had, let me just check, how many did we have? We had 49 plays for episode 1, which was way better than I expected. So if you're one of those 49 listeners, thank you so much. Let's kick things off with a dad joke.
Dad, I'm tired.
I'm tired. I'm dead.
Got him!
What country is next to USA? USB. Once again, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone who listened to the podcast. Last week, I think we had 50 plays, I think, on Spotify. But just on the Spotify note, we're actually now on a whole bunch of different podcasting platforms. Now, Apple Podcasts is one of them. There's a few other ones as well. I kind of just went a bit ham with that and trying to add the podcast to as many platforms as possible. So whatever platform you listen on, the podcast should be there. I was also having a look at the analytics for last week's episode, and we had a listener from Moscow, Russia. So, Mr. Putin, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode last week, and I hope you continue to enjoy the episodes I churn out for you. You also might be thinking the audio sounds a lot different compared to last week. That's because this week I am recording underneath a blanket, so it doesn't sound like I'm recording in a Macca's bathroom at 2 o'clock in the morning. And last bit of housekeeping before we get into this week's episode. There's been a slight tweak to the name of the podcast, so it is now the My PTSHD Journey podcast. I did some soul searching, did some thinking, did some reflecting, and I realised my English skills still haven't improved since high school. So that is one of the reasons for the name change as well. Let's kick things off with Hi and Whine. Last week I had 2 ones, so I thought this week I would have 2 highs, kind of to even it out a bit. So my first high was sitting on the front porch of my grandparents with my 1-year-old and watching my grandparents enjoy spending time with my 1-year-old. That was quite sweet. They were blowing bubbles, singing songs on the porch. It was quite nice. And yeah, a great memory to have. And the second high that I had is just having dinner with friends. It's always nice to have dinner with friends, especially when the food's very good. So yeah, those are my 2 highs for the week. My wine this week, this week was actually a pretty good week. So I had to get a little bit nitpicky with my wine this week, and I decided to have my wine be having to do the dishes. It's probably my least favourite household chore to do. There's a bunch of other things I'd rather do than doing the dishes. Luckily, my wife has agreed to let us start using the dishwasher now that we've got a few more dishes that need to be washed. Yeah. All right, let's get into Dad Diaries. Just a bit of a warning before I get started with my story. If you're eating, I would probably not eat unless you've got a really good stomach. So on Tuesday, I got a message from a friend wanting to meet up at our local cafe, which I accepted. I was getting ready to go to the cafe. I smelt my 1-year-old. He'd done number 2. So quickly changed him before we started heading down to the cafe to meet our friend. I decided to take the dog with me because he needed to be walked. We got to the cafe, had a nice time, and as I was about to leave the cafe, I picked my son up and I caught a whiff of the pooey smell. My dog's not a particularly friendly dog, so the friend that I was with offered to go and change my 1-year-old's nappy. And as I was going through the nappy bag to find stuff for my friend to change the nappy, I discovered that there was no nappies in the nappy bag, which, silly me, I remember thinking the day before, oh, the nappy bag's got no nappies in it. I should put more nappies in it when I get home. I did not, because I've got baby brain. So I made the decision to just leave our 1-year-old in his nappy and walk home. As I was walking home, we're about 5 minutes away from home, and he chose that moment to fall asleep in the pram. So I had to quickly get home to trying to keep him awake, walking the rest of the way home, which didn't work. He stayed asleep, but he woke up as soon as I picked him out of the pram. So take him inside, get his stuff ready for his nappy change, undo his nappy, and it's dry. It's bone dry. There's nothing in it whatsoever, and I just couldn't believe my luck that I spent all this time thinking that I was leaving him in a nappy, and turns out he just farted. So I put him back in the same nappy because it's bone dry, and put him back down in the cot, thinking that he'd just go back to sleep. Because at this point too, I'm also needing to go, and it's starting to feel like it's not gonna stay in for much longer. So I do my number two, and from the bathroom I can hear that he hasn't quite settled down yet. So quickly finish up, and I go in to help him settle to go back to sleep. As I open the door, this time it was unmistakable. It was very clear that he had also been working while I was dumping. So got him out of the cot, changed his nappy, and it was one of the fullest nappies I'd ever seen. And so wrestled him because he was overtired, eventually got his nappy changed. Crap nearly hit the fan, and that's not an understatement. He was in tears, I was in tears. It was so frustrating for both of us. So eventually got his nappy done, calmed down, and figured there was no point trying to put him back to sleep. So he didn't sleep until like 1:45. But I think he slept okay that night, so it might not have been too bad because he slept for a little while, I think. But I just, so unfortunate. Anyway, so that's the end of the story, really. That was... Alright, let's jump into Dad Wisdom.
One does not simply
go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
So because the Winter Olympics has been on, like everyone else, I've been watching the curling, which I don't normally watch. I watch it about every 4 years, I guess I'd say, is when I watch it. So I decided to do a little bit of research into the origins of curling. And I'll read out some of the information that I gathered while I was doing my very brief research onto curling. So curling originated in Scotland, of all places, which I kind of just assumed that like a Sweden or a Finland or Norway would have invented it. But I guess they invented golf, so they probably needed something else to do that was similar to trying to get something in a hole during the winter. Yeah, so originated in Scotland, and that's where the first curling clubs originated. But this is where it gets interesting, because there are paintings by a Peter Bruegel from the 16th century that portray a similar activity to curling. And then, this was really funny. The first written evidence of curling was in 1540, where John McEwen, a notary, recorded in his protocol book a challenge between, you'll never guess, a monk called John Sculptor and a rep from the abbot called Gavin Hamilton, which is some of the most Scottish names out there. The first rules were drawn up in 1838 by the GCC. I think I said 3 C's, but in case I didn't, it's the GCCC, which obviously translates to Grand Caledonian Curling Club. But it wasn't until the first installment of the Winter Olympics that curling actually made its debut at the Winter Olympics in Norway, I think. Actually, let me just double check. I don't want to... Here we go. Nope, it was not Norway. It was Chamonix, France. That's probably not how you say it, but I don't speak French, so that's what you're getting from that. Yep, so there you go. There's a very brief... Actually, hang on. Did I just read that correctly? Huh. Yeah, so as I was saying, the first rules were drawn up in Scotland in 1838. And then 4 years later, following a demonstration of curling on the ballroom floor of Scone Palace near Perth by the Earl of Mansfield during a visit by Queen Victoria The Queen was so fascinated by the game that in 1843 she gave permission for the club's name to be changed to the Royal Caledonian Curling Club. There you go. I did not realise that the monarchy loved curling. There you go. Maybe when the podcast gets bigger, we can get a curling dad on here. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? Yeah, send us a message in if you'd like to have an interview with a curling dad. Look us a message if you would like to see an interview with a curler that's a dad. It's time now for Dad Hotline. This week we actually had a question sent in by a listener. This week's question was a DM on Instagram, which, if you're not following the page already, it's my PTSHD Journey podcast on Instagram. You should be able to find it. This message was from Stargazer2797, and the question was, will you be holding a gender prediction poll for bub number 2? The answer is yes. Yes, we will be. Last time I was wrong when I did the poll for the first bub. I voted that the baby was going to be a unicorn, but that was not the case. But yes, to your question, Stargazer2797, close to the date, I will probably put up a poll. Maybe even while my wife is in labour. Can you imagine that? If she's got my hands like, Argh! I'm like, just a second, honey. I just need to put up a poll on Instagram this is what I imagine, like, kids these days when they're older to be doing, or like live streaming their partners' booths. I don't know. I don't have much hope. Because I've had a pretty good week, instead of doing a closing rant, I'm going to introduce a new segment called Baby Parody. This week I haven't done the full song, but I have done the chorus and the first verse of Ray's Where Is My Husband? The name of my parody song is Where Is My Mum? So please enjoy the debut segment of Baby Parody.
She should call me when it's my beautiful mama gonna come home me. Why didn't she stay home today? Oh, she's out there trying to hold another baby. Well, I'm sorry with my daddy. Where she's doing out there must be more important than hanging out here with me. Should've come home soon, I'm missing her. I really need my mom. Oh, she's missing me, not that. Now I'm going absolutely mental. Is she far away? Is she okay? My mom is testing me. Help me, Daddy. I need you to tell me, Daddy. Where is my mom? What's taking so long? Let's go. Daddy. Where the heck is my mommy? How's she gonna get baby? Yeah, if you texting her, she should call me.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode of the My PTSH Journey podcast. If you like what you're listening to, please give us a rating and review, or even a little cheeky follow on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, because we are on most podcasting platforms now, actually. If you're not following us on Instagram yet, please give us a follow on there. And yeah, hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye! Or should I say to my Russian listener, do svidaniya.